The great British love affair with train travel is as old as the railways themselves. From the beating heart of London's metropolis to the majesty of the Scottish Highlands. Connecting coast and countryside with our great cities, the East Coast Line has it all.
Disregard that, it's a glitch.
But it's the people who give life to this railway.
I'm on Frisco, I trust you.
British public are the best form of entertainment on the planet.
The East Coast Line carries 19 million passengers a year on 155 train journeys a day, along almost 1,000 miles of track. East Coast is the largest operator on the line. It runs trains, manages stations, and employs nearly 3,000 staff.
That's all you do it all day. I'm not playing with you while you're showing off.
The East Coast workforce toils tirelessly.
Demand your backs, please.
From driving trains...
Look at this office window. Fantastic.
...to making breakfasts...
I've cooked that much bacon over the years, surprised I haven't turned into a pig.
...to controlling the whole train set.
Morning. That's absolutely excellent, Graham. Thank you very much for that news.
Keeping everything on track behind the scenes and in public.
I've been standing here for half an hour.
These are the real heroes of the railway. There's a very special breed of dedicated people who eat, sleep and breathe the railway.
How many people have that view when they go to work?
Stop running. This is the Newcastle service.
First, there are the drivers and the engineers who look after the trains.
Right, Jim, you can see that level of valves up already.
Every single day of the year, that wire is live at 25,000 volts.
You've done it already?
It's down to them to ensure the safety and comfort of all passengers across the entire rail network.
We've got BN12 coming in now. It's already about 40 minutes late. I have to get the boys on this and work around the clock. Those are the things that can go wrong.
And then there are the train spotters, who eagerly and patiently wait for hours for a glimpse of that special locomotive. All this for the love of trains. It's the dead of night at Bounds Green Engineering Depot in North London. Britain's travelling public is tucked up in bed, blissfully unaware of the mechanical wizardry taking place inside this 17-acre workshop, a hangar the size of an airport terminal.
How's that one over there, Echo? Pull it down.
24 hours a day, 364 days a year, the dedicated crew of engineers and mechanics
Just do it.
ensure that every intercity train in the East Coast fleet is in excellent working order.
Okie dokie, let's liven everything up.
Technical team leader Ray Bond
She'll be good.
is one of the engineers based at the locomotive works.
Yeah, see, she rotates through there, nice.
No, I'm not James Bond, it's just Ray Bond, and I'm not Basildon or Premium or Brooke or Uni. I'm none of those Bonds, I'm just Ray Bond. My proudest achievement is actually repairing these massive trains. I say a train weighs 500 tonnes and it can come in with any manner of defects on it, and it's just an absolutely fantastic feeling to repair something and watch it go out, and knowing that the fact you have repaired it and it's going to go into London and people are going to get on that train and go somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's all good now, mate. Yep, brilliant. Cheers, Gilly.
Just as the trains have their timetables to keep, the Bounds Green night shift is on a tight schedule.
The day shift is sort of more relaxed. On the night shift, yeah, you are aware of time scales. You know you must get the train serviced. You've got to get it out, ready to get the next one in so that can be serviced as well.
HQ has assigned Bond his first mission of the night, the examination of the driver's cabin. There are 2 cabins attached to each locomotive. Ray's mission would not be complete without checking the braking system.
Effectively, that's just your ignition key. We'll go into what we call the auxiliary position, and that sets the locomotive up. If I move the controller forward and take power, we would eventually move forwards. So we take forwards. I can hear now all the fans are up to speed and everything. And then we can actually take power. So we just notch on, we can hear the electrical switches pick up, we can open them up. If we left that power on, eventually that power would be great enough to overcome the brakes. This particular locomotive packs 6,500 horsepower, so she's a powerful bit of kit. She weighs 84 tonnes, the train itself is about 500 tonnes, so that's why we need that 6,000 plus horsepower to get her going. But yeah, she does have enough power in her to overcome the brakes, and eventually she would move.
The train isn't moving, which means the brakes are working. Next up, if you've ever wondered what lies beneath the bonnet of an intercity train engine, now's your chance. Bond's next operation is to check out the locomotive.
Sort of a general look, knowing that everything's where it should be and everything. Obviously, you do get used to the feel of how the locomotive should be. You even get used to just the sound they make. You know when something's become loose or if something's not working correctly, it just doesn't sound right anymore. So we'll go through, just check.
The same checks need to be performed in the second cab at the other end of the engine.
Hello, it's Bond here. Who's there?
You're a smooth operator, Bond. It's now 1:45 in the morning at East Coast Engineering Depot in North London. While the country is sound asleep, the night shift is in full swing. As one train leaves, another arrives to take its place. Keeping the rolling stock organized is team leader and train fanatic Galbert, or Gilly, as his mates like to call him.
Oh, don't forget, anything, let me know quickly. Yeah. You have to love trains, you have to be dedicated, and you have to know what you're doing. I would say engineers are a special breed, yeah, because especially engineers who are working on trains. You have to have the train thing in your blood. Yeah, you have to be a railwayman. I love my job. I enjoy it very much.
One of Gilly's responsibilities is to check inside the passenger carriages.
We're looking for anything out of the ordinary that would cause passenger discomfort, as in damaged armrests, damaged seats, anything sticking out that could injure the passenger or their clothing. We found crutches, artificial legs, all kind of nonsense to find on there.
Most items are taken to lost property. Most, but not all.
We found people asleep on the train, especially in the toilets. Winter time, you find that a lot. They tend to dodge the staff when the train pulls into King's Cross. And then we have to, it's normally a struggle to get them off because they're normally drunk or whatever, asphyxiated with drugs, whatever. But we do get them off.
The night shift tackles the most dangerous job on the railway.
There's that much power, it will kill you. It's as simple as that.
It's the middle of the night at the East Coast Engineering Works depot in Bounds Green.
All right then, son? Hey, is it working all right then?
Every night the team services the fleet of electric and diesel locomotives. One of the electric-powered trains arrives needing a vital piece of equipment replaced, the pantograph. It's a metal arm housed at the top of the engine which feeds electricity from the overhead wires into the locomotive. This powers the train like a dodgem, but only 5,000 times more powerful.
On the top of the pantograph is a pantograph head. That's actually in contact with the overhead wire. Top surface of that is made of carbon. That wears as it's running under the wire. So every so many days we change it out, we put a new one on there.
Technical team leader Ray Bond teams up with engineering technician Lester for the job.
Excellent. But you're going to change the pan head, aren't you?
Yeah.
Working around electrical currents of up to 25,000 volts is one of the most dangerous jobs on the railway.
It's incredibly dangerous. These electric trains are incredibly quiet. And for all intents and purposes, when you see one sitting still like this, you think it's completely dead. But it's not. All the time, every single day of the year, that wire is live at 25,000 volts. You don't even have to touch it. Even if you just get near, it will jump. There's that much power, it will jump to you and it will kill you. It's as simple as that. There's no second chance with it. We turn off to 25,000 volts first, obviously, for safety. All these vehicles have an orange line painted on them, and effectively that's a safety line. And you do not put any part of your body above that orange safety line unless the overhead electricity has been turned off. Yep,
Got it?
Got it, yep.
Well done.
Right, that's our old pan head down. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's quite a strange phenomenon. Obviously the 25,000 volts is switched off, but to actually still try and touch that wire while it's dead, it's a strange thing. Can you touch it? Oh!
I don't like touching it.
Nah, even though we all know it's dead, it's still really hard to touch it.
Another mission accomplished by Bond, Ray Bond. "325 miles north of the Bounds Green Depot, it's almost dawn at Edinburgh's Waverley Station. The first service out today is the most famous train in the East Coast Fleet, the Flying Scotsman. Named after the legendary engine that joined the two capital cities of Edinburgh and London, this 21st century version is one of the flagship services on the East Coast Line. The customer service team is on board early to ensure passengers are looked after, and like the night shift at Bounds Green, they're on a tight schedule.
So we've got to make sure we've got everybody fed and watered before final destinations. From here to Newcastle, it's only an hour and 20 minutes. So we've got to fit how many get on into their breakfast before we get to Newcastle.
In charge of feeding the first-class passengers is on-board chef Scott.
At the moment we're on schedule as far as the prep's going. The trick to working in a small team in a small space is not to be a prima donna. The chef who's just like, this is my space and you're not allowed in it. I've worked with a few guys like that and it doesn't work. Let the games begin.
Good morning. My name is Bill Stewart. How may I help you journey today,
Flying Scotsman leaves Edinburgh at 5:40 in the morning and stops only at Newcastle before speeding its way to London, with his passengers fed, watered and ready for the working day. Almost all of his passengers are travellers who prefer to take the train rather than fly to London for business.
Typical Monday morning, quite a few passengers on board, but always a bit hectic the Monday morning getting organised. Once we get ourselves organised and the chef's organised, hopefully it will all run like clockwork. We'll see what happens.
Hi there, I need your coffee for you this morning.
Coffee, please.
Everything is ticking along for Gail, but customer service assistant Chris is struggling with a notoriously tricky piece of mechanical hardware.
Oh, come on. There was a bit of miscommunication between myself and the toaster. I think we've burnt 9 bits of toast. You've got to stand and actually observe the bread toasting. If not, you light up with burnt toast.
A little bit of burnt toast never did anybody any harm.
My favourite passenger this morning. No offence. Ah, yeah, yes. You got breakfast too, didn't you? Yeah.
She enjoyed his sausage.
It's 6 a.m. at Barnes Green Engineering Depot in North London.
All right, we'll get inside and check the rest of the stuff. There you go, Jim.
Team leader Gilly and his men have the huge responsibility of checking that the braking system on every train in the depot meets the national safety standard.
When you work on a train, especially if you're working anywhere near the wheels, the brake system, you've got lives in your hands. 300 lives in your hands every time you go near a train. Just let me know what is not okay. Yeah, and don't forget to check the car coupling damper. They check all on the carriage, panels, brake pads, calipers, wheels condition, and so on.
Each train weighs over 500 tons and can seat around 500 passengers, and the brake pads need to be changed regularly. That's 25,000 brake pads every year.
That is a pair of brake pads. That's what it looks like. And they'll check for the thickness. Yeah. See the difference in thickness. If you allow them to wear too thinly, the metal bit would just rub on the metal part of the disc and crack the disc.
Passenger safety is paramount at Barnes Green. The depot runs the equivalent of an MOT assembly line, servicing up to 10 trains a night, fixing any problems and returning the engines to their stations in time for morning services.
You can see that level of valve is up already. It's always a race against time. We have to beat the clock all the time.
If the night shift is late, its trains won't run on time, passengers will be delayed, and the company could incur substantial fines.
We have late departure from King's Cross, lots of complaints, trains in the wrong places. We have a sort of like knock-on effect, and that in turn would cost us money.
The train has been fixed, and Gilly needs to immediately dispatch it back to King's Cross. But there's a problem. It's not moving.
We're obviously having troubles with the signal. So we have a above flashing light and a warning siren. None of those are happening.
The clock's ticking, but Gilly and his team are at the mercy of signals. It's only safe for the train to leave when the light is green. To add fuel to the fire, there's another train arriving at the depot, and it's already 40 minutes behind schedule.
We've got BN12 coming in now. It's already about 40 minutes late. I'm concerned about the time. I have to turn this around. It's beginning to mount up now.
Gilly and his team now have to double their normal workload in only half of the usual time.
I have to get the boys on this and work around the clock to meet program.
Gilly goes back to try and solve the problem with the first train. It's still waiting to leave.
We're having a problem on the line. We can't get the signals yet to clear the train so the train can leave the depot. So Tony's going to try closing, opening doors again.
Opening and closing the doors should reset the system.
Any joy?
There should be flashing lights and a warning siren, but nothing's happening.
Those are the things that can go wrong. It is a big problem. Slightly worrying now.
For the train to reach King's Cross in time to begin its scheduled journey, Gilly has no choice but to override the red light and dispatch the engine with extreme caution.
I'll let you deal with that.
Yeah, it's doing it now.
Yeah. Right.
Finally, after 30 minutes of delay, the train can head out to King's Cross.
It's a relief to get this one out now anywhere. I can go and have a cup of tea in peace.
It's 7 a.m. and the Flying Scotsman East Coast flagship express service from Edinburgh to London has just pulled into Newcastle, the only stop on its route. 100 more passengers board for the journey to King's Cross, and the train needs to be fully restocked in only 3 minutes. Over 36,000 business travellers use this service every year. Nothing less than excellence is demanded by passengers and staff alike, especially in first class.
Typical day at the office, you go up for a passenger who's needing coffee, you go up and it's tea. What should be in that one? Coffee. Guess what? Tea. Tea. Yeah, it looks like coffee. It's coffee. I'm here all week, by the way. Yeah. That shouldn't taste like tea. Third time lucky for yourself.
Go for it. Thank you.
After just 4 hours, the Flying Scotsman completes a 325-mile early morning workout and pulls into King's Cross on time. And while the passengers begin their working day, 7 miles north at the engineering works in Vans Green, Ray and the night shift team are ending theirs.
When we finish the shift and we've got an empty depot, we know that we've done what we're paid to do, really. For me, that's my shift over. I shall now make my way home and have a well-deserved sleep, I think, and yeah, get up and get ready to do it all over again this evening.
Thunderbirds are go. Going back in time, that is.
Saying that's a classic one, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Proper railway.
And York Station faces the invasion of the train spotters.
That's exactly how steam trains should be.
East Coast Trains takes 19 million passengers up and down 936 miles of track every year. As part of a £1.6 billion network rail upgrade, a section of the London to Edinburgh mainline route is being diverted. Driver Steve can't start using the detour until he completes a test drive of the new route using what's known as a Thunderbird locomotive.
Stations, signals, route, crossings, just get them all off, and basically then when we get to the end, it's am I ready for being assessed and passed out.
Steve must negotiate the journey from Peterborough to Lincoln and back.
There we go.
And with instructor Mario at his shoulder.
It worked.
Thunderbirds are go. That's right, mirror signal maneuver.
What a lovely day. So through Eastfield, Honda's made.
Steve needs to memorize all level crossings, new signals and slower speed limits.
960.
The differences between this route and the main line are, one is it's sort of more rural. When it's dark, it really is dark. There's not as many landmarks, sort of towns and villages that we're going through, which are good landmarks for you, particularly in foggy when it's dark in them sort of conditions. And it's a lot slower. And sometimes I find the faster you go, it's easier to learn a route actually than when you're actually pootling around at this sort of 55 mile an hour.
The Thunderbird is used for rescuing stranded engines and training new drivers. It can pull up to 3,000 tons and reach a top speed of 125 miles an hour.
Here we go, proper railway.
It's not just about staying on track.
Littleworth, distance signal, off. Do you want me to do restricted commentary?
No, keep going.
Driving an older line, Steve also has to get acquainted with vintage technology.
So I'm saying that's a classic one, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And obviously you can see the difference between seeing that and seeing one of the new LED colour lights is tremendous, really, the sighting of them and everything.
Yeah, but it still works, doesn't it?
Oh, it still works, yeah. And to me, this is the skill of us, isn't it, as drivers? You know where they are and everything like that, whereas some colour lights just make it that tad easier. I can kill more pheasants with one of these than Edwards can with his shotgun.
Since the birth of the railways, a rare breed has been observed lurking in railway stations, a species that loves trains and all that they stand for. This breed is commonly known as the train spotter.
Oh, my name's Ian Willoughby, I'm 27 years old. I've been train spotting for about 20 years now, just over.
Train enthusiasts, as they prefer to be known, log serial numbers of each coach or locomotive they see. Ian highlights numbers already printed out in a handbook that one of his train spotting mates created.
I take the data file with me everywhere I go, just in case I see something different and I can mark it off there and then, rather than sitting for hours at a time when I get home at 11, 12 o'clock, midnight, marking them all off.
To some, he may be a figure of fun, but Ian is proud to be a train spotter.
I call it train spotting. There's a lot of people that won't call it train spotting because train spotting brings that sort of stereotypical anorak, flask of tea, notebook sort of thing. But it's moved on, obviously, with technology as well.
Today, Ian's on the lookout for a rare steam train that will be stopping at York.
Today, I'm here for the Great Britain 6 rail tour. It's a 9-day trip around the UK. Today's the last day of it, and it's all steam, 100% steam locomotive. It's round about 20 minutes away from where I am now, according to the website.
So Ian waits and waits and waits and waits.
Just whistled. It's just on its way in now. Brilliant, isn't it? It's pretty special, isn't it?
Ian is by no means alone in his passion for the great age of steam. The Union of South Africa was built in Doncaster in 1937 and was one of the fastest locomotives of its time.
Basically now what's happening is this engine here is coming off and they're going to put another one exactly the same type as this one, another A4, bit onto the front of it. I've been on a few steam trains, yeah. I'm actually going on one in September from Crewe up to Perth.
Once the engines are swapped, Ian can head off on the second leg of his big adventure.
The plan now is to get the train to Doncaster. I have to get this train because it gets to Doncaster about 20 minutes before this does, and then I'll see it come through Doncaster at a fair rate of knots, hopefully. Doncaster, yeah.
Due to the engineering works on the main line from Peterborough to Lincoln, East Coast train driver Steve is learning a new temporary route. He's training in the Thunderbird locomotive with his instructor Mario.
There we go. Just walk everybody up now.
He's just dropped his coffee in the house.
Right. I don't like blowing horn here because they're all retired people at this side.
Where?
Bungalows. If you look, all workers live on the right-hand side and all retired ones are on left.
Steve's training is interrupted by a red light. At each signal, Mario needs to get out of the cab and call the control room to ensure the line ahead is clear. All very 20th century.
Hello, sir. It's driver off this 0 Papa 07 again at your Mike Golf number 3, sir. Right. So you're going to give me a Mike Golf number 3 signal, and when we get it, we're going to approach Cherry Holt. When we get to Cherry Holt crossing, we're going to not cross over it until it is safe to do so, and go over it at caution. When we get over the crossing, we're actually going. Then we're all right to carry on as normal. Cheers. Thank you very much, sir.
You keep saying that when you get on phone, don't you?
Oh,
hello.
He says good morning. Puts me straight on.
Lincoln Station.
So 65 miles and 1 hour later, how did Steve do, Mario?
Wow. How much is that worth? Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's fine.
He's only slapped me twice.
So I did have dark hair though, first day. No, he's not. He's fine. They're fine.
That was a good one.
We can drive in this gun.
A train-loving artist takes the biggest gamble of her career.
The moment of no return now.
And driver Graham is crowned king of the rails.
I sit in the best seat of the house because I have everything in front of us.
Ian the train spotter is on his way from York to Doncaster for a second glimpse of his favourite steam locomotive.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be arriving into Doncaster Station. If you are leaving the service here, please.
It's the magic of the steam train, really. It's something that you don't see very often. I think that's what draws people to it. It's a sort of, it's something completely different. It's the history of it, British engineering, the sense of grand design that you don't seem to get on the trains these days. Basically now just going to wait for the steam train to come from York. It's about 10 minutes away, hopefully. So with any luck, shouldn't be long before it'll come flying through here.
Train spotting is a waiting game, and having the patience of a saint always pays off. And sure enough, there in the distance,
I think that's the smoke from it. See that? He sort of, oh, whoa. Yeah. That's exactly how steam trains should be. That was pretty special to me. That's one of the reasons I do spotting. See something different that's not a regular occurrence, something rare, especially at that kind of speed, just doing what it should, doing what it was built to do. Working a proper train from York to London on the main line, exactly what it's all about.
In Whitby, North Yorkshire, 90 miles up the line from me in the train spotter, artist Christine also has a passion for the railways.
Been painting professionally for 15 years, but I have painted all my life. My parents both painted, and that's where I picked it up from, I reckon.
Christine's painting of York Station is to be submitted to a prestigious competition in London.
2 of my snow scenes I am sending to the Royal Academy Summer Exhibition, which is the most prestigious exhibition in Britain. The chance to hang your work alongside the likes of David Hockney, Ken Howard, Fred Cumin, some of Britain's top painters, it is a huge draw for painters all over Britain.
Christine's journey begins at York Station. It was here, at York, while waiting for a friend to arrive, that the painting was inspired.
I was looking across the platform of the snow and the people waiting on the platform.
The railways are a constant source of inspiration for Christine.
As I travel by train, I often sit and doodle just for amusement. I've always got a sketchbook in my bag, and there'll be a farm building from here, some trees from there, and it gets made up purely for amusement.
Today's trip is one of the most important journeys of Christine's career as a professional artist.
A little apprehension about the Royal Academy exhibition, but it's not one that you build your hopes on too much. A lot of exhibitions you hope to get a picture in. This one, it's always a bonus when you do.
Every day you come to work, irrespective of where you're going or what time you're starting, it's different. You could go the same journey every day, but it would be different every day. And not many people can say that, you know what I mean? I still love my job today as I did 34 years ago when I first started.
Graham is proud to be a driver along the Newcastle to Inverness line. Over 260 miles of the most picturesque scenery on the entire British railway network.
Both my grandfathers and my father all worked on the railway, but they were all signalmen. I'm the only one in my family who's come on the footplate. My dad, he always regarded the driver as being having the best job in the railway. I must admit he's right. But me personally, it's, you can't beat a bit of variation. Whatever walk of life you do, whatever job you do, if there's a bit of variety, it makes it a bit more interesting.
Despite being spoilt for choice, Graham does have a favourite section of the route.
Between Berwick and Bournemouth, it's just because you overlook the North Sea and you're right on the cliff tops, and it's just a superb outlook.
Graham loves his work, but every job comes with the odd occupational hazard.
And you know, you get that feeling, oh, I want to go to the toilet. Very, very rarely you get caught short. You know, it does happen, obviously, it's human nature, everybody gets caught short, but it's generally it's very, very rare. And there is opportunities for you to go to the toilet.
But even old hands like Graham get caught out every once in a while.
I was in a place just a few miles south of Peterborough, actually, in what's called the Fens. I just put the brake on, I had to run to the toilet. And I continued the journey. I told the signalman when I got back why, like, you know. But then our control rang us up, asked us why I lost 2 or 3 minutes. I had to explain.
Christine, an artist from Whitby in North Yorkshire, has taken the train to London to submit 2 paintings to the Royal Academy Summer Exhibition. One of them is of York Station.
Quite a contrast from Whitby, where we've only got 2 sets of traffic lights. It's an eye-opener coming to London.
The odds of one of Christine's pictures being chosen are very long indeed.
So there's a very large entry. I believe the percentage chance of getting work in is about 1 in 20, depending on the number of entries. The moment of no return now. Just unwrap these and hand them in, and that's me done. Not feeling confident, but I think they stand a fighting chance. Hi there. Hi there.
I just need to scan the back.
Just scan the back, thank you. There's 1. There's 2. Thank you. Right.
It's all out of Christine's hands now. The paintings will be judged at a later date.
I think that both paintings have a good chance, and I'm always optimistic when I put them in. And yeah, yes, I have to say I will be slightly disappointed if they don't get in.
East Coast driver Graham is heading north on the Newcastle to Inverness line. Even though it's a long and lonely 5.5-hour journey, which ends with an overnight stay in Inverness, Graham loves it so much he jumps at the chance to do it.
Yeah, it's a volunteer link. You're not forced to do it. And if you don't want to do it, it just goes back to the next man who's waiting to come on. A lot of people don't like staying away from home. Which I can understand. People don't like sleeping in strange beds all the time. And actually, it can be a very lonely link, because you can sign on some days and never speak or see anybody, or see very, very few people, or speak to very, very few people, if at all. It's what the individual makes it. Here we are here, Dromocta Pass. There it is. Dromocta, that's how it's pronounced. It's the highest point in the rail network. When you look at this out the window, you think to yourself, how many people have that view when they go to work? And that's when I count myself lucky. I say that every time I come up here. It's stunning, man. Can't beat it.